The story opens in the intense world of competitive diving, where athletes are training at the highest level. We witness synchronized diving practice sessions with coaches calling out technical instructions like flex, open, head up, and approach straight up. The atmosphere is competitive and demanding, with judges scoring performances and athletes pushing their limits. The action quickly takes a dramatic turn when, during a synchronized diving session featuring Mexican divers Mariel and Alejandra Moreno, a serious accident occurs. Alejandra suffers what appears to be a spinal cord injury during their routine, requiring immediate medical attention. This pivotal moment sets the stage for everything that follows.
Following the accident, we learn about Mariel Science's impressive diving career. At just 15 years old, she had already won an Olympic bronze medal, marking her as a rising star in Mexican sports. The narrative reveals her determination and the weight of expectations placed upon her shoulders. Now, years later, these are set to be her final Olympics as she approaches 30, the age when competitive diving becomes increasingly difficult. Mariel's situation becomes complicated when her regular diving partner, Alejandra, is injured. Alejandra has sprained her neck and pulled her triceps, sidelining her from competition for an extended period. This injury threatens Mariel's qualification for the upcoming FINA Cup, which is crucial for Olympic qualification.
Coach Braulio Peralta, who has been training Mexico's elite divers for 20 years, presents a solution that Mariel initially resists. He wants to pair her with Nadia, a remarkably talented 14-year-old diver whose skills on the 10-meter platform are exceptional. Braulio has been coaching Nadia for only 1 year, but he believes she has the potential to compete at the world's highest level. Mariel's resistance to this partnership stems from multiple concerns. She fears that working with such a young and inexperienced partner will jeopardize her final chance at Olympic glory. She's already lost one Olympic opportunity due to injury, missed the bronze in previous games, and knows this represents her last realistic shot at a medal. The thought of potentially looking like a fool in Athens with a dumb girl terrifies her. The conflict escalates when Mariel threatens not to compete under these conditions. Braulio's response is firm. If she won't work with Nadia, he'll find 2 divers who will. This ultimatum forces Mariel to confront the reality that her Olympic dreams depend on accepting this partnership. Throughout the story, Mariel battles recurring health problems, specifically urinary tract infections that plague her repeatedly. She's had 3 infections in just 2 months, requiring constant medical attention and antibiotics. Her doctor warns about the dangers of antibiotic resistance and the potential for kidney complications if the infections aren't properly treated. These health issues seem connected to Mariel's personal life and behavior patterns. There are hints throughout the narrative that she engages in self-destructive behaviors, including casual sexual encounters that may be contributing to her medical problems. Her relationship with teammate Carlos becomes particularly significant, representing both emotional connection and potential complications. The story takes a dark turn when serious allegations emerge against Coach Braulio Peralta. He faces accusations of sexual abuse, with Nadia's mother leading the charge. The allegations result in Braulio's immediate suspension from coaching, threatening to destroy both his reputation and his athletes' Olympic preparations. Braulio's reaction to these accusations is one of complete devastation. He maintains his innocence, explaining that his close relationships with athletes stem from the nature of elite sports training. Many of these young athletes live at the training center, away from their families, making him a father figure who cares for them when they're sick or injured. He argues that the accusations come from Nadia's mother, who doesn't want her daughter to leave home and live independently at the training center.
The Olympic Committee launches a formal investigation into the allegations. The athletic community becomes divided, with some supporting Braulio and others remaining silent.
Several athletes who had planned to testify in Braulio's defense failed to appear at the hearing, leaving him with limited support during the proceedings. During the investigation, disturbing details emerge about the nature of the allegations. References are made to complaints from years past, suggesting this may not be an isolated incident. The investigation reveals a pattern that extends beyond just Nadia's case, though the specifics remain unclear. Nadia herself becomes caught in the middle of this controversy. At the hearing, she contradicts her mother's accusations, claiming everything is a lie and that she wants to remain at the training center with her athletic family. She accuses her mother of fabricating the allegations because she doesn't want to be left alone. Her husband had left years earlier, and losing Nadia to the training center would leave her completely isolated. As the story progresses, we discover the horrifying truth about Mariel's own experience with Braulio. Through fragmented memories and emotional breakdowns, it becomes clear that Mariel was also a victim of sexual abuse by their coach. The abuse began when she was young and continued for years, hidden under the guise of their special relationship. Braulio had groomed Mariel with typical predatory tactics, telling her she was special, that their relationship was unique, that no one else would understand what they shared. He convinced her that their sexual relationship was natural and that she should keep it secret. The manipulation was so complete that Mariel initially defended their relationship, even viewing it as consensual. The revelation of this abuse recontextualizes Mariel's entire athletic career and personal struggles. Her self-destructive behaviors, health problems, and difficulty maintaining healthy relationships all stem from the trauma of years of sexual abuse by the man who was supposed to protect and guide her athletic development. When Mariel realizes that Braulio is beginning to abuse Nadia in the same way he abused her, she faces a crucial decision. Despite the potential consequences to her own Olympic dreams, she chooses to confront the situation and protect the young girl. Mariel attempts to speak with Nadia directly, trying to help her understand that what's happening is wrong. However, Nadia, like Mariel years earlier, has been thoroughly manipulated. She believes she has a special relationship with Braulio, even claiming they plan to marry after the Olympics and that he will leave his wife for her. The psychological manipulation is so complete that Nadia accuses Mariel of jealousy and refuses to listen to warnings about Braulio's true nature. This mirrors Mariel's own experience. The victims of grooming often become fierce defenders of their abusers, unable to recognize the manipulation they've endured.
Despite all the turmoil, the Olympic preparation continues. Mariel and Nadia travel to Guadalajara for training and competition, where the tension between them becomes more apparent. Mariel's knowledge of what Nadia is experiencing creates an unbearable situation, while Nadia remains under Braulio's influence. During this period, Mariel finally breaks down and reveals the truth to her mother about her years of abuse. The confrontation is devastating, as she questions how her mother could have failed to see what was happening. The revelation destroys the family's perception of Braulio as a trusted family friend and mentor. Braulio, sensing that his secrets may be exposed, attempts to manipulate Mariel back into silence. He approaches her with what appears to be an apology, but quickly reveals itself as another attempt at manipulation. He tells her they had a special relationship and tries to convince her they belong together, demonstrating that he still views his abuse as somehow romantic or consensual.
The story reaches its climax at the 2004 Athens Olympics. Mariel and Nadia compete as a synchronized diving team, representing Mexico on the world's biggest stage. Despite all the personal turmoil and trauma they've endured, they managed to perform at an elite level,
competing for Mexico's first medal. The final dive of the competition represents more than just athletic achievement. It's a moment where all the story's themes converge. The technical perfection required for synchronized diving becomes a metaphor for the complex relationships and hidden truths that have shaped these athletes' lives. However, something goes wrong during their final performance. The exact nature of the problem isn't entirely clear, but Mexico leaves the Olympics without a medal. This devastating conclusion represents the ultimate cost of the abuse and manipulation that has poisoned their athletic careers. In the story's conclusion, Mariel makes the difficult decision to speak publicly about her experiences with Braulio. She approaches Nadia's mother, Irene, to reveal the truth about the coach they had all trusted. This confession serves multiple purposes. It validates the mother's earlier concerns, explains the true nature of Braulio's behavior, and potentially saves Nadia from further abuse. Mariel's decision to speak out comes at enormous personal cost. She acknowledges that she should have acted sooner, but was prevented by her own trauma and the psychological manipulation she had endured. Her revelation represents both a moment of healing and a profound loss, the destruction of the athletic dreams that had defined her life. The story concludes with Mariel's recognition that protecting Nadia was more important than achieving Olympic glory. She expresses hope that by revealing the truth, Nadia might escape before this hell consumes her alive, suggesting that while Mariel's own Olympic dreams are over, there's still hope for saving another young athlete from the same fate.